everyone. So today, or this week's practice, this week's asana for the beginning of August, we are finishing up the chakras. I'm going to let the sun bathe me right now. So the seventh chakra is Sahasrara. It is symbolized by a lotus with 1,000 petals. And that sort of symbol of 1,000 petals is just meant to mean like the infinite. It doesn't mean that 1,000 is all that there is, but that was a pretty big number, and that's a nice symbol for the infinite, for no beginning and end. And so, as I've said before, the 7 chakras are just the 7 primary chakras that run the length from your root chakra around your tailbone all the way up through the crown of your head, and this last one is either on the crown of your head or just hovers above it. It's kind of considered the guru chakra as well. This is a symbol of, or not a symbol of, but it's like your energy center of willpower and knowledge. This is also said to be where sort of like the entrance of the energy or the vortex for enlightenment is. So it's up here. But here's the thing of it. So if you took the chakra test, I would recommend, so we started this several months ago. If you did this several months ago, take it again. It doesn't hurt to take it now if you didn't before. But what this shows you, what this personality test shows you, and I like this one only because it's a little bit more visual. There are some of the questions on here that are a little bit confusing. But the notion of this is that the chakra, number one, the chakras are paired. So your root chakra and your crown chakra are paired. So what you're looking for in that, if you're looking for balance within the paired chakras, then if you've got 4 quadrants here, then however you answered these questions, you would like for the root and the crown to have the same number of pie pieces filled in. If one is empty, but your crown chakra is filled, that's sort of a symbol of a lack of grounding. So you want them each of the pairs to have the same number of little pie pieces filled out. The heart chakra isn't paired with anything. That's sort of seen to be the center of it all, which kind of makes sense. That's the center of feeling and emotion and all sorts of things. Emotional intelligence and all of that. So individually, you're looking to see what each of the chakras, when you go through these questions, what they reveal to you. And do know that I firmly believe that there's a lot of psychology involved with the chakras. If you look at the questions as they pertain to each of the chakras, it makes sense. And there is no separation between mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and spirituality. Your physical body, your energy body, and your intention. Your spirituality can be your belief system, but it can also be what's your purpose in life. Used the term before, ikigai. It's a Japanese term. I like that term a lot because it means why do you get up in the morning? So when you're looking at your chakras individually, because you want to have a good foundation, so if your root chakra is just empty, these questions are just, then you've got to start with the root. You got to focus there. And then you work your way up. And it's not necessarily that you're looking to fill these, but you're looking for balance. So individually, and then paired, and then as a group, as a team of chakras, you're looking for balance. And so And if all of them are filled up, then does that feel right? If all of them are empty, does that feel right? What does that mean for you? So the Crown Chakras specifically, so let me talk about that in a little bit more detail here. Understanding, knowledge, it's said to be sort of the dwelling place without support. It's kind of the definition or the translation of the word, Sahasrara. And that kind of makes sense. So, I don't know though. I might argue that, because even if it's floating above, I don't know. I feel like the dwelling place without support, it's still supported by my energy body and by the rest of my chakras. So I don't know. Think about that. Crown of the head or above. Again, sometimes you'll see, hold on, let me get a quick picture here. So, frequently you'll see statues of Buddha or other, maybe Hindu gods, where they have this on top of their head, this little lotus flower. Sometimes you might think, oh, it's a man bun, you know, it's their hair on top or something sitting up there. But it's also suggested to be the 7th chakra, a sign of enlightenment, the Guru chakra. So take a look. Maybe you haven't noticed that in some of your statues, but that's something to look for there. The color is whatever. I'm going to just say the color is whatever it shows up for you. The rainbow colors are sort of arbitrary. Those were applied to the chakras, I think, back in the 80s or the 90s, so they're not set in stone. They're traditional colors for the chakra symbols themselves. So go with whatever feels right with that one, I would definitely say. So if you're trying to wear a color that makes you feel like you are working on the energy of that, also know that the chakras, as they work up, they're coming into a higher frequency. So when it comes to colors, there is, colors have a certain frequency as well. Everything vibrates at a certain frequency. I have my own frequency. My being has its own frequency. So colors have a frequency, the whole universe does, the planet does, and so forth. So what feels right? The sound of it is either silence, because it's space, it's ether, it's up there. Or it's Om, which is said to be the sound of the universe, the sound of all of the Sanskrit letters if they were intoned together. There is no element. It's beyond. It's all of it, it's none of it. Talking about the pineal gland, and that part of the body. And because we're talking about the crown of the head and the skull, the body parts that we sort of focus on are the skull, the brain, the cerebral cortex, and the central nervous system. So we're talking about the brain and how it connects to the brain stem. So this is absolutely the physical. Makes sense. And this is also why we're talking about trying to keep length in the spine and letting that skull sit on top of your body. That can help allow for space, for releasing any impingements. We want movement, we want motion, and we want to be well aligned so that we have this ability to give all of the space and the opening that we need for the nerves. So from a more, I don't know, spiritual, mental aspect of this, we're looking into the awareness of the higher self. Something outside of your physical being, perhaps even something outside of your energetic being. And this is also where we're looking into a connection with whatever you want to call it. God, oneness, the one, the force. That's kind of, I mean, if you know me well, it's kind of what I go for. I like to feel a connection with all beings, with everything. Molecules, dark matter, light matter, all of it. For some people, this is a very spiritual thing, religious thing. And for some people, it feels different. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're not sure, and that's fine. So this is where we're really going into something, I was going to say deeper, but it's sort of like the opposite of deep. And it doesn't mean it's superficial. It's because it's all of it. It's infinite. So it's an interesting concept to sort of wrap your head around. If your crown chakra is blocked, everything else sort of stops there, if you just don't feel like it goes out, then you may feel depression. You may feel alienated from other people. You may feel like you're unable to really wrap your head around things or connect with things on a spiritual or mental or intellectual level. It's not to say that you're not intelligent. It's just maybe you feel like you just don't have that sort of, I'm going to say deeper connection. So that's something that can be felt there. Confusion. So, one of the things that I also recommend for working on your crown chakra, or really all of them, is working with mala beads and doing a sort of chant, going through your mala beads. So you usually have 108 beads, and depending on what your chant is, finding your mantra, going through those. I like a nice, simple, easy one is Om. And as you go through each bead, you really say Om and feel it. You're not just doing it to get through it, you're doing it to really do each one with intention and with breath and feeling the energy and possible connection that you might find in doing that. So, I will have a link once again to this chakra test. It's not the be-all end-all test, I just like it. It goes along with the book that I follow. And the book that I've liked for years, I got it at Half Price Books in Columbus, Ohio, the one on Lane Avenue. The Handbook of Chakra Healing. Again, also not the be-all end-all. There's hundreds of years of, possibly thousands of years of knowledge about the chakras. But this book gives different types of therapy and work and explanation. Talks about the different colors and elements, essential oils, gems and stones, different things, poses, mantras, mudras, breath work. So it goes, it's like the entirety of yoga for the chakras. I really like this book, The Handbook of Chakra Healing, by Kalashatra Govinda. So, enjoy this, and I'd be interested to know your experience with this, how this felt for you. This was the asana that we do for this one is a little bit different. Some same stuff. We've done all of it before, but with a different intention and with a different sort of energy. Also, I'm doing this in the morning. As you can see, the sun is rising. So it's a different feeling for me as well. Notice how you feel throughout the day, either because of the practice or before you start your practice. If you have any questions, leave them below or respond in our private Facebook community group. If you have questions, please reach out, but I'd also love to hear your experience with this. So, have a wonderful rest of your day and week, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.